some studies shows that if you're from lower income family, you have less happy marriages. If you complain a lot, you don't really have a happy partnership. Any surprise with that? If you complain a lot, chances are you don't really have a great marriage. Now, just really to briefly from my own experience, married more than 25 years, almost 30, and the marriage or any partnership is something that you need to keep working on day after day until the day we die. It's really something that we need to keep working on. So let's look at what keep our marriages. Number one is humor. So tell jokes, be funny. It kind of de-escalates the issues and really creates a happiness. And number two is gratitude. Gratitude is well known to help us improve our happiness and overall well-being, but now we also know it helps with have a happy marriage. So just send a nice, text maybe in this case. Send a thank you note, maybe even via mail. Just say thank you for dinner. Just express your appreciation for things that your partner do that sometimes some of us take for granted. And number three was forgiveness, letting go, recognizing that we all make mistakes. So that is important. And number four is disclosure. Often people will keep certain things secret, but say it. Instead of keeping it in, and helps really to create happy relationships. Another question about relationships and parenting. Does parenting makes you happier? I always remember a discussion with Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar and how really actually what happens is that new parents, mostly, fathers, actually we don't want to talk about it, but get jealous. And because the attention is now truly focused on the baby and not on you anymore. And you need to be ready if you get into relationships where you will have a kids. You need to be ready that attention at some point will focus on that baby and you need to back off. Sonia Lubomirsky concluded with her meta-analysis that when we have hundreds of different researches and creating analysis of that parents are slightly happier than non-parents. So the chances are that if you are a parent, that you are slightly happier, but we also have a lot of other things to do that could decrease happiness, so we have to be careful. And how about friendship? How about friendships? Do friendship relationships increase happiness? Well, in face-to-face sense, well, we really don't need the science to tell us that friendship matter. If we need help, physical or emotional or any kind of help, sharing our thoughts and ideas and even coping with issues, we know that friendship certainly can help. And a science of friendship shows lots of benefits of social support. Lowers level of cortisol, the stress chemical. In one particular study done by Shelley Taylor, it shows that in a very stressful situation, such as giving a speech for about 10 minutes, that will basically increase stress and a cortisol level. And that what I, often, and if you have people supporting you, making eye contact, smiling, etc., that shows that will lower cortisol response. I used to set, beginning of one of my workshops, telling participants the following. I would say that, this was a live workshop, and I would say I left one card and placed it under one chair, one seat. So only one of you, don't look for that yet, only one of you have it. And in a moment, I would tell them in a moment when I say go, I'm going to ask you to look for that card under your seat. And I would say if you're the lucky one, you will be chosen. And your task will be to come in front of all of us and give a 10-minute talk. I didn't know about the other 10 minutes research. I'll give a 10-minute talk, and I would say on the subject that you know nothing about. and they would all look like this. They would look for the card. They would be scared. They would actually, the whole thing is that there was no card. I just wanted to see a reaction. They would look for this card. They would be so scared, and then some would just kind of look down, hoping I'm not going to pick them, and it would be such a relief when I told them there was no card. But why are we so scared? It's actually funny that fear of public speaking is on top of the list for many of us. And yet, some of us love it. It may be because some of us had support and empathy, and we'll talk about empathy later, showed by our friends, and we became confident doing it, while others never really had that support and increased their cortisol level. And anytime they tried, maybe they were afraid, they got no support, and they don't want to do it anymore. I personally, I actually learned, and I forced myself to do it, and then I just love it. But it does make sense that some of us had a lot of support, and that's why we enjoy doing this. So here's the exercise for this week. Let me give you a quick example first. And this will be about active constructive responding that we learned in this lecture, ACR. So let's say Jane said the following. I had a really amazing day at the office today. I don't know why, but it seemed that everything was going just right. In addition, my colleague, who usually doesn't even say hello, complimented my project. I'm so happy. So that's what Jane said. Jane, came home, and John is going now to respond. And John is going to do what we call ACRing, right? He's going to give active, constructive response. And John said, great, congratulations. What exactly did your colleague say? So now we just remind you what active responding is. So this week, when you hear good news from your friend, colleague, partner, just try responding using what we just learned. Active, constructive responding, ACR. So saying, what else happened? Can we celebrate? What about this is more exciting for you, and so on. So make it sure it's active, constructive response, ACR. And you will see how you are going to build on this news. You will have a great reaction from your partner, from your listener. And this will not only help your listener improve his or her own well-being, but it will also in turn help you become even happier. So let's try ACR this week.